All right, guys, welcome to the channel. Another review here for Spartacus. This is episode 3 entitled Legends. I know I've been away for a minute, but I've been busy at work. So I was able to squeeze in some time to get this one done. This was a good episode. Guys, if you're new to the channel, scoring system is 0 to 5, 0 being trash and 5 being a masterpiece. And guys, I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. I thought this was, I thought the previous episode was a little bit better, but not by that much. I believe I gave that one a 3.75. So, still a solid episode. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the episode, some of our character motivations, some themes, and just overall the episode. So, this won't be a scene by scene, breakdown or whatever, or recap, as they may say. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is, like I said, legends. And in this episode, we learn about the legends of Crixus. We learn the legend of Barca. We learn that Barca, when the Carthaginians were defeated by the Romans, I think it was about 200 of them, and the Romans made each one of the Carthaginians fight to the death, and it came down to Barca and the chieftain, who was a renowned warrior, and Barca ultimately defeated him, in which, correct me if I'm wrong, Spartacus tried to go, well, he beat an old man or whatever. But that old man, I believe, not only was the chieftain, but he was also Barca's father. So then we also learned the legend of Crixus. Crixus, there were these two twins that were spawns of a jackal. And, these guys were running amok all across Rome, and they were captured, sent to the arena to die. But unfortunately, these guys thrived, and to the point nobody wanted to face them. And that's when Crixus, the undefeated Gaul, steps up. He takes both these twins, these spawns of a jackal, and he's able to kill them, and earning renown. And I love the narration by Asher, the actor who plays Asher. I love his voice, his little accent he has, Asher, the House of Asher. I enjoyed him, and his narration was pretty awesome. But, in the beginning, Spartacus kind of scuffs at these legendary feats. He kind of calls cap on them, but, at the end of the day, he starts to have a little bit of respect for them. So, also dealing with Spartacus in this episode, he's dealing with, his issues are his identity. And here's the thing: to be a successful gladiator, you have to drink the Kool-Aid. I look at these gladiators and they're breaking them down like you're in the military. They strip you of your identity. That's the key. Identity. They strip you of your identity until, you become one of the members of the army, or you become a gladiator, a brother of the House of Batiatus. And Spartacus, the first two episodes, he's not buying into it. Even though he has the brand, he's still not buying into it. There's a part where they're training and he calls himself a Thracian. And Enemaeus reminds him, Thrace who? And he fucking pisses. He says, I piss on Thrace. To let him know that your outside life, that shit don't matter no more. All this house, that's all you got. This is your team. This is whatever you want to call it, family, team, or whatever. This is it for you. And Spartacus, like I said, he still has that rebellious nature when it comes to that, which, he's going to have that to the end. We know how this all ends, but he hasn't conformed or completely gone in, bought in. He hasn't bought in yet. He wants to be able, like I said, to get his wife. But in order to do that, he's got to have all in. He's got to buy in, and he hasn't quite bought in yet. And even what makes things even more stressful for him is the lists are put out, and he's not on that list. And as Varro told him, Varro's there to pay a debt. You fight in the arena, you earn money. And so Spartacus needs to start earning money. He has to start to stick out. And we start seeing it where he didn't make the list. So the next training session, he's going all in on his training partners. He's fucking these guys up. He even fucks up Varro, and Varro is his friend. And to the point where Enemaeus has to get involved. And we also see the Messio sign, if I'm saying that correctly, the sign of surrender, which will come in handy later. So, some of the other things we also see in the episode is with our character Crixus. We start to see the love triangle beginning between Crixus, Lucretia, and Navia. And so we see Crixus navigating between the two. You see the budding, romance that he has for Navia, where she rejects him, but the rejection is at a safety. There's a bit of her, of course, that does feel a way about him. But it's very interesting to think about that because, Crixus came to the house and Gods of the Arena. Now, there was a scene where all the girls were, Kiki and a ha ha and for Gannicus, but nobody was saying anything about Crixus. But, as the kids would say, he had a glow up, from when he first came in the house to where he is now. So you could probably see why, there's a part of her that, hey, he's the big dog on the yard now. So she may have a thing for him. But his relationship with Lucretia, of course, it's he's doing it because he has to. This is one of those episodes, they don't talk a lot about this, but they always talk about, the females slaves being exploited sexually and things of that sort. They never talk about these males. We have later on in the episode, excuse me, it happens to Varro. Varro's forced to have sex with another slave. Why he's in the middle of it, he's asking for his wife's forgiveness. But they don't care. And then of course, Crixus and Lucretia, he can't tell her no. She's the domina. He tells her no. you know what could happen to him if he says no. But for her, we know her intentions are to get pregnant by Crixus, and that is yet to occur. But yeah, we get the early seeds of that love triangle as well in this episode. So flash forward, Spartacus, his back is against the wall. He's got to figure out, man, to find a way to get into that arena. And the thing about I like about this episode also is they make it hard for Spartacus, and he's not always the smartest one in the room, and like his anger and his impatience hinder him. Spartacus is a smart character, but I love how they give him flaws. Like his impatience and his anger are a detriment to him. And it all culminates with some elites come over. Badiatus is showing off the gladiators, and Spartacus attacks. Spartacus attacks Crixus. They get into a fist fight, and they're about to end it. And Lithia yells, "Let them fight!" And they're going at it. These boys are getting it in, and you see Badiatus. He's starting to survey the crowd, and he's noticing how the elites they're loving it. They're loving it. So he flips the shit. He flips the shit, and he says, "Oh, we got Spartacus, the one who will not die." He hypes it up. He hypes it up to where now the people want to see these two go at it. Now, this is one of those things, and even Varro warned Spartacus, "Hey, you won by luck. Fighting Crixus is something you shouldn't be welcoming." Like he wants to take Crixus out, and Varro is warning him, "Man, you don't. We all know you really didn't win that one, but it is what it is." These two main event, they're in there, they're fighting, and Spartacus, once again, his impatience, he's going in and just attacking, just attacking. Earlier in the episode, I love how the episode does this. It's a lot of foreshadowing. Ananias is telling him the same thing when he's training. You're going in without thinking about counters. You're just going in, swinging and attacking. And if you go against a better opponent, they're going to figure you out. Because Spartacus had luck with it in pride when he was fucking up Varro, and I think it was Kurzer. He's fucking these guys up, or was it Neris? Yeah, I think it was Neris, the guy with the net. Because he fucked that guy up to get him out of the tournament because he was supposed to face Crixus. But he's telling them that if you fight against a more skilled person, they're going to figure you out. And you know what? That's what happened. He gets in the ring with Crixus. He's swinging like a wild dog. And Crixus finally says his famous words, "Shall I begin?" And he turns the heat on and he whoops Spartacus' ass. It don't, he's playing with his food. and he fucks Spartacus up, and he's getting ready to take Spartacus's life. Like, and Spartacus goes to the Messio, and his life is spared. But he doesn't walk away with this as, oh, you learned your lesson, because he tried to pull that shit at the end of the episode. He's telling them, hey guys, look, here's the thing. I want to be a good gladiator. I want to be a good gladiator. I want to listen to your coach and teacher. And they go, it's too late for that. So they send his ass to the pit, and the pit is hell on earth. And so that's what next episode will begin, where we deal with Spartacus in the pit. So, like I said, man, this is great. I'm loving these rewatches, guys. Like I always say, man, if it's for 1 minute, 5 minutes of the whole damn video, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to view my content. Hey, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe, smash the like. Of course, if the hype button's available, hype this video. It helps little channels like mine. And yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one, episode 4. Take it easy.